Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to jump on the Friday before the end of the week. I will do a portfolio update over the weekend. Obviously, if you've been following the market, you know we are in a bumpy time right now. There's a lot happening out there. Interest rates are going up. There's a lot happening with the world. Oil prices, you know, if anything could happen, everything is happening right now. So I just wanted to kind of touch base with everybody to kind of give an update on how I'm kind of going to be moving forward with my portfolio. Obviously, this isn't something to give any information to you on how you should work with your own portfolio. Obviously, always do your own research, do lots of reading, and always, you know, consult some advice from professionals if need be. But my portfolio, you know, it's been going for a year. There's a lot happening. Money is, you know, doing my consistent deposits each month. I'm going to keep doing that. It's easy to kind of look at the markets when they're terrible and go, you know what, it's over. I'm never putting another penny in this at all. But you have to really, and what I'm doing is looking at it long term. I'm looking back to when I first started the portfolio. And my long-term goal is to have build the portfolio, TFSA portfolio up to $100,000. That's not going to happen by stopping investing. And, you know, we can be strategic though going forward. So what I'm kind of looking at now with the market that is, you know, we're going to be in this kind of bumpy ride that we're going to have to buckle up, I think, for a while. I'm going to look at my core holdings that I really have strong beliefs in. So obviously, if you've been following the channel, you know, it's a learning process along the way. It took me a year to kind of figure out exactly where I wanted to start, you know, continually investing. You make mistakes along the way, purchasing things you probably shouldn't have bought. We've sold some stocks throughout the year, but we've kind of, in my portfolio, I've kind of got the core that I am happy with. So moving forward, what I'm going to be doing in this kind of time until things kind of settle down, I guess would be the best way to kind of say it. And I think we're going to be in this for a while. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in a month. It's going to be, I think we're going to be into like the next year before we kind of start seeing, I think, a bit of maybe a bit more clarity with what's going to happen with the market. But I'm going to focus on a lot of my core, and I've said this in past videos if you've been watching, my core holdings right now. So I'm going to focus on, we're starting to see the dividends really build each month, and it really kind of hit home. Candace actually left me a comment on my last video, and I'm close to $30 a month in dividends that I've been receiving. So that's awesome. Like that's something that's good to look at, even though the markets are down. You know, the portfolio was building with dividends. So I've said it before, I want to keep building on the positions in my dividend producing stocks. So that one for me is the BTC.Y, the Canadian High Dividend Yield Index ETF. And I actually purchased 2 shares of that yesterday. I did a deposit, $200. So that's kind of my May deposit, probably taken care of for the month. I bought 2 shares of that to add. That gives me my monthly dividends that's going to come in. And I also purchased, and the price was down, being able to average on the cost. I did purchase 2 shares of the Renewable, Brookfield Renewables. So I totally lost my train of thought there. Brookfield Renewables, 2 shares of that. I see that as a good long-term investment. And of course it does pay the regular dividends. It's quarterly dividends on that one. So that's great. So I'm going to be working on that, adding to those positions. I'm going to be adding to the positions of the Slate office REIT. That one gives me my monthly dividends. I do like that one. That comes in pretty consistent, and it's not very volatile in price, which is great. And I still do want to add to Telus. So Telus is always the channel favorite, and they actually had their earnings today. So go check that out. Go read the news on that. They're raising their dividends. So that's awesome. I have to add more Telus, so we'll keep building that up. So that's kind of my goal, I think, for the next little while. When I say little while, probably thinking 6 months to a year. Definitely going to focus on those kind of core holdings. I still will put investments into VTC.Y, S&P 500. We want to take some advantage if the price is down, and this is a long-term portfolio for me, 10 years plus. We're definitely going to see hopefully gains back in the S&P eventually. So it gives a good chance to average down and just build our portfolio up. We do receive the dividends, different dividends from that. Usually it's quarterly with that one, but you know, they'll be coming in as well to help build the portfolio. So it's easy, you know, to recap, it's easy to kind of think everything's over, it's ending, everything is going to zero. It's not. Just stick with, you know, I'm sticking with my plan. this is probably a perfect opportunity if you have a portfolio and you're investing. Look at your plan, look at what your goals were when you first started. If you have to adjust something, you can adjust it, but don't make, I guess it's the time to not make any rash decisions and, take losses on things that there's no reason to. I'm not doing that on my portfolio. Everything I bought, I'm going to be hanging on to, even though they're possibly down. A lot of them are down a little bit on the portfolio. So, but it's going to carry on with the plan and take it as an opportunity, not to try and outsmart the market. I'm not an investor that can do that. I'm just going to be consistent, continue with my consistent deposits and carry forward that way. So hopefully that helps you out. And one last thing with the portfolio, I am obviously invested in cryptocurrencies. There's always a kind of people are for that, against that. That's going to continue. I want to try and keep my TFSA portfolio roughly 10% in cryptocurrencies, so that will still stay the same. So I will be continuing to add mostly into that the Bitcoin index, the yield ETF, which will give me regular monthly dividends on the Bitcoin ETF. So that's probably the one I'll be focusing on. I do really want to try and take this opportunity, if the prices are down, to try and build some of these dividend producing ETFs and stocks. So that's my take on how the market is, what I'm going to be doing with my portfolio. Maybe it was a little bit rambly. Hopefully you found maybe some useful in this. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's definitely really appreciated. The channel is growing. I always appreciate everybody's comments on all the videos. I read all the comments. I try to get back to everybody with their comments. I do see them all. If I don't get back to you right away, I definitely try and get back to you over the weekend. So thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Do your research, and we will get through all this like we always do. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video.